famous bearded cartoon creator incarcerated in a Peruvian jail. In other news, local citizens are outraged over the discovery of surveillance cameras throughout the town. We go now to City Hall, where Mayor Quimby is fielding questions from an angry mob.
These miniature cameras are an outrage. Spying on our women's dressing rooms, bathrooms, and locker rooms is unforgivable. I think I speak for all Springfielders when I say, where is the sexy footage?
In other unexplained news, strange black vans have been appearing all over town.
Marge, that black van is spying on us.
Oh, homie, you're so sexy when you're paranoid.
Oh yes, paranoia. Nothing gets me in the mood more than when I'm paranoid, baby. Anyway, greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to the Simpsons hit and or run commentary. Yes, surveillance van versus surveillance van. The perfect disguise. They'll never know that we're tailing them. And yes, this does work in similar vein to previous missions seen in Grand Theft Auto, replacing the spookometer with a greenometer. It's like it's being filled with Mountain Dew. The drink that goes well with Kavkalash. But anyway, the basic functionality of these missions remains the same. Get within a certain distance of your target, and, well, make sure that you don't lose all the green, otherwise you'll be in the red, which means you fail. But yeah, unlike Grand Theft Auto, where the spookometer was pretty much there to ensure that you don't scare your target, obviously, yeah, you don't really have to worry about that. It's pretty much just a case of following your target to their destination, and that's pretty much that. Whether it was done to make it easier for the target audience of the game, or just for the time constraints with the, well, the rather roughhouse development session that Radical Entertainment had with this game, you be the judge. But this is also where these, well, at least where the level design in terms of how Springfield is designed, does take you for a bit of a loop, because they'll pretty much take you all around the town, round the bend, through the nuclear plant, up the ramp, through the log on the hog, and the frog on the log that leapt into the house that Jack built. Yeah, the point I'm trying to make here is that despite my verbal diarrhea, the level design, she be a very twisty beast, and why they're letting people drive through this place, I don't know. Maybe Mr. Burns is having another one of his ether-induced hallucinations, like when he saw Puppin' Fresh, that greedy globule of chemicals, and that wonderful leprechaun, where he is going to get his lucky charms. Oh no, my brains.
So, Mr. Burns is behind all this. Evil spying is so like him, that wrinkled old monkey skeleton.
Ah, yes, the plot thickens, this early on into the game. But yeah, in terms of how the plot paces itself, it doesn't really tend to pick up until Chapter 3, at least not significantly, but for the time being, we get, you know, a few little sprinklings of mysteries, a little bit of plot here and there, just to while away the wee hours, and everything usually begins to pick up after Chapter 2, which is after Bart's chapter, but in the meantime, though, things are pretty chill for the moment, and as you can no doubt tell, yes, I can pretty much make just a whole bunch of stolen Simpsons jokes, and it makes perfect sense, because we're covering a Simpsons game. So yeah, this commentary is probably going to be a little bit more loosey-goosey and a little bit more lax than usual, but I don't know, I just hope you chill out and have fun with me.
Mr. Burns is spying on everybody. We've got to follow him.
Not now, Homer. A new violent video game has hit the streets, and we need to get rid of it before it warps any children with its bloops and bleeps.
But that game sounds awesome.
And therefore should be destroyed.
I guess.
Yes, enthusiastic. Buy me Bone Storm or go to hell. But yes, this does also tie into what I think is pretty much the final variation of this mission type. Chasing down cars or, you know, whatever your target is, have them drop boxes and pick them up. It only really takes a small nudge for them to drop whatever cargo they're carrying, so you don't have to worry about ramming them at full speed, it's just make sure you nudge them significantly. Like, I mean, if you give them just like a little tippy tap, you know, that probably won't jostle some stuff loose out of the back of the truck, but, you know, just give it a decent whack and you should be good, dude. And it's also an example of some missions actually running congruently throughout different chapters of the game, and pay particular attention, we're collecting Bone Storm. Yes, that was a video game that Bartholomew once thought was cool. I wonder if he might take umbrage with Marge's pro-parenting here. But yeah, this is also another factor where you actually get to take control of cars you'll actually get access to later in the game. In this case, what I think is meant to be the Canyonero? Or is it meant to be the second? No, it's not meant to be the second Simpsons car, because that one's like orange and not quite there yet. Unless it is, and they just use a Canyonero model because that was a car made specifically for the show and not a real model. Which you could probably tell with the Simpsons family sedan, which now looks like a convertible for some reason. I'll get into the nitty-gritty of that a little bit later on as we get into some of the side missions of the game, but in the meantime, we've completed our mission, we've destroyed a popular video game. Whoopee.
If only kids would play more video games about sharing.
Bart, you know I abhor crazy plans. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go spy on my boss. We're number one! We're number one! Oh, I forgot my mission. Millhouse, you little wiener, what are you doing here?
Patty and Selma won't give me a license to ride a bike without safety wheels, unless I run the driving tests.
And so, this pretty much completes our side missions for the game, of which there are pretty much 4, 3 of which are races, handed out by Millhouse, Nelson, and Ralph respectively, and the 4th of which is pretty much a bonus character in which you can use to get an additional car. To talk about the races specifically, Millhouse's variants are basically just, well, sort of like a time attack thing, really. Again, you pretty much go around a circular track, making sure that you hit all the target rings in quick succession, making sure you get 5 laps done, and bada bing, you do the thing, and that pretty much unlocks your way to getting a car, of which you need to complete all 3 races, and then Patty and Selma venerate you with a new vehicle. Which, I mean, for the point at which you're in at the game, they are pretty sleek models, at least for that particular chapter, but yeah, they're not quite going to cut the mustard as you get later on in the game, but it is something that you do need for 100% completion, which is something that the game does technically have. You need to complete all races, get all collectible cards, pretty much do everything that the end of mission title card pretty much deigns you to collect, and by the time you do that for all the chapters in the game, yeah, go to a phone booth and you can pretty much access all cars in the game, including the hidden cars, which I'll get into, you know, as we tackle the chapters later on, but yeah. This game does have a few secrets revolving around its driving mechanics, and they are some pretty sweet models, even if some are honestly kind of better than others. But even if just for the novelty, it is worth using some of these vehicles, whether for fun factor or just for sheer comedy's sake.
I am so smart.
I'm so smart. Whoopee. Driving to the next race. S-M-A-R-T.
I know you. You're the kid that sells me bootleg CDs on the street corner.
Yeah, well, I've been having some legal problems lately, so I'm stuck running these races for the DMV. It was this or read to the elderly.
More racing with Smelson Nunt. Smelson Nunt? Jesus, what the hell's wrong with my loose lips? Yeah, and they also have very unique voice lines depending on which character's saying it, which is quite nice. But anyway, with these races in particular, it's a similar circuit race to what you did with Millhouse, except this time you're racing against actual opponents, including the character who will be the star of the next mission. So, yes, we see the honor roller right there from that infamous Simpsons episode where Bart rejected Homer's go-kart in exchange for Martin's.
Stay on target.
And yeah, basically the point I was trying to make is that the next mission is controlled by Bart. But yeah, you can generally tackle a lot of these racing missions with the base car that you're given, so yeah, you don't have to worry too much. It's just a matter of, like all racing games really, just cutting corners to maximize lap time, knowing when to, you know, put the pedal to the metal, when to brake and, you know, cut corners and take sharper turns. It's really just sort of basic stuff in this case. The track design here is, again, fairly easily laid out, so yeah, nothing too dangerous, although some of the ones later on in the game, particularly that from level 3 onwards, do have a tendency to sort of throw you for a loop a little bit. By which I mean mainly just sort of getting you to kind of reverse out, know when to brake and, you know, just hard reverse, flip around and then go back forward through the rest of the track, unless of course you've got a vehicle that has really good turning and handling, so yeah, it's can be quite stressful at times, but again, that's later levels. This time we're keeping things chill. It's still the middle of the day, you know, just about time for lunch, time to relax, and yeah, I'm feeling good. Yeah, that's one fine looking barbecue. Why doesn't mine look like that? It'll a grill. What the hell is that? Yeah, I might as well talk about the cars actually while we have the time. Yeah, a bit of trivia I actually have here, or at least in terms of something in particular. Yeah, I don't know whether or not some of the cars in the original show were based on, like, very specific models that they don't technically have the rights to, but yeah, for the sake of changing things up in terms of, like, raw gameplay, yeah, they had to change up some of the car designs, which is why the Simpsons sedan looks like a convertible. Even though it isn't in the show, and why they changed it, I have no idea.
I think I bit my tongue.
Hello, little son of the police chief, little angel.
Those nice man ladies made me a race judge.
Oh, Ralph, what do you like?
One, go!
Oh, you cheeky little bugger. Someday you will in fact learn to count. But yeah, this one, for the third variant of races with Ralph's, it's pretty much just a straight-up race from point A to B, so... Yeah, more than anything else, I mean, you do still have opponents to worry about, but again, if you know the town's layout like the back of your hand, as you pretty well should by this point in the game, yeah, you should be able to take care of Bart no problem. I mean, Bart's vehicle is technically faster than yours and does have a... well, okay, does technically have much better handling, but... yeah, as you can tell, the AI isn't quite up to snuff, so provided that you're not completely, you know, lollygagging at the controls, your knowledge of the town shall be great, and, you know, you should be able to cut corners and easily take those shortcuts to maximize your lap time, so... yeah, in terms of overall gameplay content, the races can be pretty frenetic experiences, and again, they do very much play into the whole sort of race and chase aspect of gameplay that the game was pretty much founded upon, so, yeah, it ends up becoming one of the stronger aspects of the gameplay. And you know what, I mean, I will say, while not necessarily completely fulfilling the whole GTA with the Simpsons aspect, I will say that in terms of the gameplay at its base level, how much variety that Radical Entertainment squeeze out of a simple concept, I think they managed to do this game pretty decent justice in terms of just focusing solely on the racing gameplay. Granted, I do wish that they would have had maybe a little bit more focus on some of the more, you know, on-foot aspects, as they seem to be of want to do, but... yeah, that also relates to some of the development history that doesn't quite, well, align with what Radical Entertainment wanted to do.
Hey, I know you. You're in my dumb guy support group. Mind if I borrow your truck for a while?
No can do, Mr. Fancy Blue Pants. I begotten to finish up my daily chores, or else Brandine ain't making her muskrat pie tonight.
Fine, I'll help you with your hillbilly chores.
You help me bring in this season's harvest, and I'll take you anywheres you be needing to go. Woohoo! First most, I want you to go to the gas station, get me some of those cardboard tubes, you know them? I'm gonna build me some indoor plumbing. When you finish with that, knock down all them tobacco plants so the young'uns can clean them up for market.
And this pretty much unlocks a bonus car from our fourth type of bonus mission, which is basically going off to a random character, in this case, Cletus, the slag-jawed yokel. After all, some folk will never eat a skunk, but then again some folk will, like Cletus, the slag-jawed yokel. Anyway, by completing I want to say like a reasonably challenging mission like this, you do get access to yet another vehicle related to the character in which you interact with. In Cletus' case, you pretty much get his pickup truck, so... yeah, that's okay. Decent vehicle, fairly tough stats. Not too bad for this point in the game, but yeah, complete these missions, get cars, and you get some humorous interactions with Cletus, the slag-jawed yokel. Maybe you can call his ma from one of them there talk boxes. Why am I making him sound all New York here? You know, bada bing, boom, Mets and stuff. Oh well. Anyway, it's a fairly fun mode of gameplay, although, as you're no doubt noticing, the time limit can be a little bit tight, and in some cases with the time missions, sometimes the timer will pretty much encompass the whole mission, other times you'll get a little bit of bonus time depending on what sort of objectives you have to complete, and there are other times, which is the most bullshitty of all times, you know, the best of times and the blurst of times, what have you, is when the timer pretty much has like one static time limit for the whole thing, and you pretty much need to get back there with very clutch gameplay limitations. And including this mission where you have to collect tobacco! Which, by God, was one of the freakiest things of the entire show. Ugh, I've never looked at cows the same way again. They scare me. Ew, this tomato tastes like grandma. Tobacco addiction. You are a worthy beast that I have slain, yet still crave cigarettes evermore. By the way, you can actually jump over that tire fire, although you do need a very significantly quicker vehicle in order to access it with. But yeah, I don't think the family sedan will quite cut it. We need something a little bit faster. Something a bit more extreme, dude. Something radical.
Okay, city boy, I'll help you. You just yell into one of those magic talk boxes, and I come a-running. Oh man, them things is crazy.
Oh, that was too easy.
Hey, Homer. You look like you're having one of your trademark adventures.
Danger! Mr. Burns, mini cameras, black vans.
Oh, good thing I'm drunk.
Stupid drunk. Oh no, he's going to warn Burns. I can't believe I'm racing the same guy twice in one day.
And now we cut back to what is our final mission in the game, racing Smithers again, to stop Mr. Burns from spying on the town. Only he would think of something so evil that it blends the line between evil and cartoonish super evil, or villainy, rather. I'm mixing up and muddling my quotes. But anyway, this is pretty much your final mission in the game, racing Smithers to get to Mr. Burns, and can we make it over the tire fire? Oh, I guess you can. I guess you just need a bit up of speed. Well, never mind. I guess we can make it after all. But anyway, the point of all this is that, yeah, I don't really have too much else to say, really. It's just a straight-up race, and, it also kind of shows how short the missions can be when you're just completing them in a straight one. But I suppose that is why Radical Entertainment did sort of dart around collectibles and, street races. And, speaking of the street races, you know, while we are racing Smithers in a race against time... yeah, there is actually also gambling races you can do. They don't grant you any sort of completion bonus, it's pretty much just there so you can earn a bit of extra money and, you know, put that towards buying new cars from specific vendors in the level. Primarily they're being sold by Gil or certain characters who you usually need to buy for the sake of a mission, so yeah, that can be a little bit balls if you don't quite have the cash, but doing a little bit of gambling, something a bit sinful, and you can get some sweet rewards. But all that aside, I suppose I might as well talk about the music for the brief time that we still have it. Yeah, each character does also have their own specific theme music. In Homer's case, it's, well, very much sort of embodying the sort of soundtrack that Alf Clausen pretty much denoted for the series, really, so... Yeah, and in Homer's case specifically when you're on foot, yeah, he also has like a very sort of bumbling Fat March kind of theme, so, yeah, it's quite snazzy, and all characters do get their own unique musical styles, so on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and enjoy the last cutscene. Catch you later.
T. Montgomery Burns, I know you're guilty. Accused! Sir?
Fine, I admit it, I had Amelia Earhart's plane shot down. That hussy was getting too big for her jodhpurs.
No! You're spying on Springfield with your black vans and surveillance cameras.
Black vans? Aren't they connected with some sort of Pizziola concern?
What? They were only pizza vans? I'm a Class 5 idiot.
Smithers, release the hounds. And if this oaf is an employee of the plant, fire him at once.
In your face! Don't worry, that should heal fast.